everybody. I would like to welcome you. You're already joining us. I would like to welcome you to WEIU this evening. This is Arthur. This is our story. It's all about Arthur, Illinois this evening.
I'm Shana Johnson, Membership Manager, joined by
Keanne Armstrong, and we have a bank of people back here with us, phone bank of people, all from Arthur. A lot of them are storytellers, and we're so happy that they're with us tonight. We also have a lot of other people on the other side of the studio, as well as in the production control room this evening.
For Arthur, this is our story. We have 28 wonderful storytellers, and I cannot wait for you, the viewer, to see this program tonight.
We are learning all about Arthur tonight, and you know something that we've learned about them is I don't know what's wrong with me and I can't talk, is you're only considered a stranger once. And that's exactly how they've made us feel. We're all family here this evening. We've got 5 stories coming up right now, so we're going to get to the show. This is Arthur. This is our story.
Arthur, This Is Our Story is supported by Tri-County Welding, big enough to serve, small enough to care. Roseland's Coffees and Delights, an atmosphere of relaxation, rejuvenation, and comfort. And the Yoder Center, a vital part of Arthur. Masterbrand Cabinets has a legacy in the Arthur community. Masterbrand, built on the solid foundation of craftsmanship, trend-forward thinking, and attentive service. Masterbrand Cabinets supports Arthur, and we are delighted to support Arthur. This is our story. A high level of integrity and a strong belief in the good people of the Arthur area describes the Arthur Community Bank. Arthur Community Bank is proud to help bring you Arthur, This Is Our Story on WEIU TV. Polly's Barbecue of Arthur, ribs, pulled pork, and smoked sausage is proud to support Arthur, This Is Our Story. Congratulations to all of the Arthur storytellers for your devotion to Arthur. Arthur, This Is Our Story from Polly's Barbecue. The village of Arthur, located in the heart of Illinois Amish country, is proud to help bring you Arthur, This Is Our Story on WEIU. The Arthur area is home to the largest and oldest Amish community in Illinois. Enjoy the show from everyone from the village of Arthur. The Sarah Bush Lincoln Arthur Clinic provides home health care services to the Arthur area. Sarah Bush Lincoln Arthur Clinic, trusted, compassionate care, is proud to be a part of Arthur, This Is Our Story. State Bank of Arthur is a community bank that welcomes the opportunity to serve the people of the Arthur area. State Bank of Arthur thanks everyone associated with Arthur. This is our story on WEIU. State Bank of Arthur, member FDIC.
Well, my wife, Mary Beth, is a 4th generation on this farm. Her great-grandfather, Frank MacDonald, left Virginia with his brother, and they rode a horse and led a horse all the way out from Virginia here to Illinois. And they settled here in 1859. So when you come to the Great Pumpkin Patch, you really are coming to old MacDonald's farm. Our Mac, who manages the farm, is a 5th generation, and his kids and my other son's children, 8 grandchildren, are the 6th generation on this farm. So the roots run deep. They were born, our twin boys, who joined their older brother, Kit, were born on October 26, 1976. And the next spring, Mary Beth wanted them to have their own pumpkins to carve on their 1st birthday. So that's how it started. The boys, just little, they were barely crawling in the spring, but helped plant the pumpkins in the garden. Every year they would plant pumpkins for their fall harvest. Starting the 2nd year, they had more than what we could use. So they put them out in front of the milk house where the windmill is, and we hung an envelope on the door up by the house, and people bought them on their honor system. And that year we had enough money to pay for the seed for the next year. So when they got into preschool, they would bring their classmates out for field trip to the farm, and we were a working farm, corn, soybeans, and alfalfa, see the machinery, get up in the tractors, all that kind of stuff. So that just became part of the yearly routine. And then in 1988, we had a drought year. I'm a corn and soybean farmer. It was hard, the 80s were hard on farming, and we were wondering whether we could keep doing this. We weren't really making any money. And so we had the idea, well, why not open up the farm in the fall to the public? We're already raising these pumpkins. The boys are selling them. They're making, you know, $200 or $300. And for a 6th grader or 7th grader, that's pretty good money. So we decided to open it up to the public. So in 1989, we opened it up. And that first weekend, there were people parked everywhere. And people were in the buildings, even in the house. They were everywhere. Mary Beth and I were sitting out and looking at this, and she says, we've created a monster. And we still have that monster. Well, since day one, the boys have been part of this project, and we've let their creative juices flow, and I think they've really appreciated that. But all great ideas around here, a lot of them come from our sons. Mac is kind of the manager. I remember when he and his brothers got in the bus to go off to school when he was about 12 years old, and before he got in the bus, he handed me a list of things to do. And they got on the bus, and I turned to Mary Beth and I said, look at this, we've got a manager on our hands. He's giving me a list of things to do. So it's been a family effort, and it's been a lot of fun, a lot of hard work, but we hardly feel like we're going to work every day. It's never felt that way.
The Moultrie-Douglas County Fair has been an institution and a real part of the fabric in Arthur, Illinois for almost 90 years. The first fair was held in 1924. It was in early October. And we like to refer now to the fair as Arthur's Original Street Festival. Arthur's become somewhat noted for Cheese Festival and several other barbecue festival and other events that we've got. And the reason we say that is the first fair for the first 25 years or so was held uptown on the grade school grounds. A lot of people today don't remember that, and it was held there until 1950 or 51. They set up tents around the street, around the grade school grounds. People had livestock for neighbors for about a week there in the streets in front of their houses. My dad still tells stories about sleeping on Carter Odom's front porch, and that way they were close to the tent where his pigs were at. They set up a stage there on the grounds, and that was the beginning of what's become an institution, in that the Moultrie-Douglas County Fair has become noted for great entertainment. And those free acts started at that very early fair in 1924. The fair stayed downtown there at the school grounds until 1950, 51. That's when the first addition to the grade school was built. It was at that point in time that some families got together, donated some ground south of the high school and what is now known as Juergens Memorial Park. And the fair took up residence there and has been there ever since. Johnny shows up with the Tennessee Three and the Statler brothers and the Carter family and his wife June Carter Cash, and just put on two great shows. And what I remember is that all the roads leading into Arthur, from the Arthur Atwood Road, the county road south of town, 133 to Arcola and Lovington, were lined on both sides with vehicles. The night of the fair, after that performance, tried to walk through the midway. You couldn't. There were people hanging upside down out of trees and everywhere else. I've never seen, and no one in town's ever seen that many people. Estimated attendance was between 15 and 20,000 that one day of the fair. The Moultrie-Douglas County Fair has been kind of a leader in several different activities. Our tractor pull is annually one of the really good ones in central Illinois, and many people don't realize that the pulling sleds that the tractors hooked up to and dragged down the track That was invented by a guy here from Arthur named Billy Watkins. Our first queen contest was in 1962 and continues to be an important part of the program here at the Moultrie-Douglas County Fair. We think that we had the first junior-only livestock show in the state here in 1941. My dad, he participated in the late 40s with his 4-H FFA projects. My grandsons are currently participating at the Moultrie-Douglas County Fair. We got to see them a year ago, and they represent the 6th generation of my family that have participated in purebred livestock. And so that's been a really important part of the fair for me. The community has supported the fair for this is going to be the 87th version of the Moultrie-Douglas County Fair. It's been a big part of the fabric of this community, and we're just proud to have served in some small part and be able to tell some stories about the fair that we remember and are dear to us and lots of folks just like me.
Before there was CHI overhead doors and before master brand cabinets, there was Progress Industries. It was founded in 1920 by Arthur Martin and Joe Fitzgerald. They were two business partners in what was called oil jobbing, which meant that they took fuel to different clients, farmers, etc. The problem was that the tanks that distributed the fuel didn't have markers on them. The ones that did were so expensive it was prohibitive for their customers. So they decided that they could manufacture these pumps for half the cost of what everyone else was buying them for. So they designed a new patent and started making them. The name Progress came from the fact that a local doctor would stop by every day and ask, "How is it coming? What's your progress?" Arthur Martin was quite the inventor and always trying to determine what else could be made with the tools that he had. So by 1924, Progress had expanded to include caskets made of hardwoods, solid copper, and polished bronze. So the oil side of the company created the first 300-gallon tank that was mounted on a Model T truck. It sold for $125. The 1930s came and brought the Great Depression and, of course, great unemployment. Arthur Martin and his partner Joe Fitzgerald were determined to keep the local Arthurites working. So with his own money, Arthur Martin built a shoe factory and a garment factory to keep the local Arthur people working. Over the next several years, Progress built 2 complete lacquer and paint making plants for St. Louis businesses, 3 complete canning plants where foods were canned for the war effort, cheese making units, for bread truck bodies, steel cyclone cellars for schoolhouses in case of tornadoes, air compressors for filling stations, water softeners, metal filing cabinets. They built fire trucks, front-end loaders, corn elevators, and milk tanks and trailers. In 1941, it was determined that all steel use in the United States had to be towards the war effort. Soon Progress was making spherical floats which were used in anti-submarine nets. These floats were 57-inch heavy steel balls that required painting inside with paint that retained its solid form at 300 degrees. But at 2 p.m. on Saturday, April 10, 1943, while the paint was heating to the proper temperature, flames shot across the room and traveled up the walls. So fire departments arrived and they helped put the fire out, but by that point, 2/3 of the company had burned to the ground. The company, in a miraculous effort, was back in production within 2 weeks and full capacity production within a month. At its height, Progress had 450 employees between the oil and funeral divisions. By the close of '79, it was shown to have the highest sales and profit year in the company's history with sales of over $14 million. However, in November, the funeral supply division was sold to Toccoa Casket Company, and at the end of February 1980, the entire funeral division operation closed. During the spring of 1980, business started to slow, but they thought this was only going to be temporary. However, the ag economy went into a depression and Progress never recovered. I wanted to tell this story because my father was general manager of Progress for about 14 years and later became personnel manager. He spent his entire career working for Progress. It was his life. I worked at Progress in the summers with my sister, cleaning offices to put myself through college. My mother worked in the clerical division. All our family friends worked there. It was just family. It was a family business. It meant so much.
My story begins in a garage at my house. On a Wednesday night, we had 4 people together, and we wanted to play music. We were all guitarists, and we wanted to play music, but we didn't want to play in a bar or anything like that. So we just wanted to sit around and play music. So Uncle Omer told me and the group of guys, he said, come on over to Cadwell and you can use our Civic Center to play. And so we did. And eventually it grew to where there was parking issues out in his yard. So one of the merchants in Arthur asked us if we would like to come to Arthur and perform uptown. And we kind of welcomed that because first of all, we were running out of space, and we moved to Arthur, and we were at the Gazebo Annex when we played there, and we played there for quite a while, and people started hearing about us, and they started coming in numbers, and also people wanted to come and play. Eventually, we moved to a new building behind the Mexican restaurant in Arthur there, and we were there for quite a while. The acoustics were kind of bad, so we hung up gunny sack material, and hence the name, the Gunny Sack Revue. And the Revue part of it is, we're not a band. Revue, because at that time anybody could come and play. And in 2015 we moved into Penn Station as our home, and we play there every Wednesday night, just because we have fun doing it, and because it's also a place for folks to go to dance. They can sit there and just enjoy music, or they can enjoy fellowship with others. It is a destination on a Wednesday night. We have a large following of folks that come from Decatur, Atwood, Tuscola, Champaign, Homer. We have people from Neoga. We have people from Mattoon, Charleston, Lerna. All of those places, they all come. And they really, I mean, some of them come as early as 5:30 for a 7 o'clock show. Now that, dedication. We were debating when we were building the building, should we put in a dance floor? And some of them said, I don't know if we want to or not. And then we finally did. And we went ahead and put it in there. And these guys come from all over the place to dance. And these guys are good. They're flying all over the place. And now we've got youngsters, 15 and 16 years old, that are dancing as well. Most of us are from Arthur. And we started in Arthur, or in Cadwell, and we started in Arthur. And the patrons, the merchants, they've all helped us out. And they stayed open late at night because of us being in town. All the restaurants, you can see all of those people that come to Gunny Sack Revue or to Penn Station. They're eating food there. And so it's a great help, and I think it makes Arthur special.
The Arthur United Methodist Church, for years, we've had youth group on Wednesdays, and we've always fed a meal to our youth group, the junior and senior high. In 2009, early February, they came to us with this idea that since there were people who were hurting because of the economy, was it possible to invite them to join us for the meals? And we sat and we looked at it and said, it's a good idea, but how do you identify who you want to come? How do you invite them without embarrassing them? We also looked at it and said there are other people who may not have a financial need, but just have a need to be with other people. So in February of 2009, we started this project. We were going to do it for 6 weeks. At the end of the 6 weeks, we sat down and the cook said, well, there's only another 4 or 5 weeks before we stop youth for the summer. We'll just continue it till then. We sat down in May to look at it, and the thought probably at that point was, we'll just stop it for the summer and then pick it up in the fall. And one of the ladies who was at the planning meeting told us of one of our older members who had told her, with tears coming down her cheeks, how important it was for her to be able to have a meal with somebody else. Because this lady lived alone and didn't get out too much. I said, you've hooked us. I'm convinced today that if we had stopped for the summer, we probably wouldn't have picked it up again in the fall. But we kept going. The early days, we had maybe 50 to 75 was a crowd, which is, we were already feeding 30 or so youth, so it wasn't too bad. The word spread, and people started coming. Last year, we served over 15,000 meals. We average about 300 meals a week. Those are served in 2 hours, from 4:30 till 6:30. Most of them go out the door as carryouts, but people are hungry. We don't care where they eat. We encourage people not only to take a meal for tonight, but if you're going to be hungry tomorrow, take a meal for tomorrow. And just grows. We started from within the church, but we call it a community meal because the people who work on the meal, the people who come to the meal, come from all over. We have probably as many people in the kitchen preparing and serving from other churches as we do from the United Methodist Church. And something I just celebrate. Like I said, we've done 8 years. We're in our 9th year, if my math is correct. People ask me for several years, well, how long are you going to do this? My standard answer was, as long as the need is there, as long as the finances are there, as long as the help is there, I see no need to stop.
Having as much fun as we are here in the WEIU TV studio. We saw 5 awesome stories. The last one very emotional, and that explains to me what Arthur is all about: community and taking care of one another.
I'll never forget the day that we were doing the story and Kian interviewed that gentleman, and she said I was crying, and I knew you would cry on that one. So that's the fun thing about doing programs like this. The emotions are all across the board. There's tears, there's laughter, that you learn so much. There's so many different things that go through your mind when you're doing this story, and that's why we're excited to bring you Arthur, This Is Our Story tonight.
Absolutely, and we hope that you are wanting to have your very own copy of Arthur, This Is Our Story. All you have to do is call the number at the bottom of your screen, and that's, well, right there we've got our first caller, so let's keep those phones ringing. And we'll be here with you all evening long, and all you have to do is call right now. Well, I've got Terry Clark over here with us, and Terry, you told the story about Delbert's clothing.
Yes.
And at the very end of your story, you had some people giggling, and they may be catching it later on in the evening. But don't give away the story, but I want you to talk a little bit about your experience with Delbert's clothing.
Well, I spent a number of years. In fact, my whole adult life was with Delbert's Clothing. I was there for 48 years all total. But it's just it's an opportunity to be a part of the community in a lot of different ways, and extended community. Not only did Delbert's Clothing reach out of the community, but a lot of the businesses within the community over the years have relied on customers, clients from the whole central Illinois area.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you had a wonderful experience with that, and I'm glad you're here with us this evening.
Thank you. It's a wonderful opportunity.
And that little giggle will be coming later in the program. You have to stick around to hear this. It's a great story. Terry Clark, Delbert's Clothing. Jana, back to you.
Thank you, Kian. We've got a couple people that called in actually before we just came back on, so I would like to thank Noel and Iris from Arthur and Sally and Don from Arthur. Thank you so much. That's what we're talking about. People get excited about this program. Right now we have 8 people answering the phones. There's only 1 person on it. We need to get all those phones busy. Who's going to be the next one to call? We would love to send you a DVD of Arthur, This Is Our Story. 28 storytellers from the Arthur area excited to be a part of this great program only on Arthur. It's $75 for the first DVD. 2 or more are $60 each. The phone number's at the bottom of your screen. As you can see, we've got a lot of people sitting back here that have come out tonight. Most of them are storytellers, and they're excited to be a part of this great night here at WEIU.
I want to throw a challenge out there to our viewers. If you enjoyed going to the Moultrie-Douglas County Fair, the storyteller is in the house tonight. Lyle Dorjan is in the house tonight, and I'm sure he will get on the phone if he needs to. But if you enjoyed that, you know what, show him your support and say, you know what, I want a copy of that DVD because I really, really appreciate that fair in my hometown.
Now, Progress Industry, we have Tanya here, and she's answering the phones right over here. That was such an amazing story, and it's crazy how long it was there, how it, what it went through, the people that it employed for all those years in Arthur. So maybe later on we'll get to talk to Tanya too on air. That'd be great.
Absolutely. And we also heard from Bruce Condell this evening, Old MacDonald Farm. Beautiful farm, lots of wonderful pictures, great storyteller, and another family-oriented story.
Tonight our goal is to get 100 people to call us. So right now in this break, we're going to be here for a few minutes. We need to get the ball rolling. Once it gets going, then everybody else wants to call. So right now the phones are, here we go. There's one right there. Let's get it going. We know that this program is so great that you want one for yourself. You may want one for your loved ones, for people that have moved away from Arthur, that you say, you know what, there's a lot of history in Arthur, there's a lot of great people, and we want them to have a copy of this DVD.
Think about the holidays that are coming up. We just had a special holiday, Mother's Day. We have another one coming up soon, Father's Day. So if you're thinking, what am I going to get that special person in my life, this would be an awesome gift to give them. And all you have to do is call right now.
And you could even call, and if the person that answers the phone isn't the one you want to talk to, they'll switch. We're funny like that here. We like to have a good time in the studio. Kind of crazy sometimes, but not real crazy. But anyway, we're having a good time. So if you're out there and you're watching this program, and you've only seen 5 stories so far, so we have so many more to go.
We have 28 this evening in total.
To put a program like this on the air, it does take money. WEIU loves to work with our communities, and that's something that we take very seriously. How many counties do we cover?
We cover 22 counties in the state of Illinois and partly into Indiana, Vigo County, Indiana. And it's the people who are watching tonight and those people in all those potential households that can be watching WEIU that really do make a difference. And so when you are calling in, you're making a big difference.
You are. A lot of people, don't know how many people we reach, but initially, how many thousands of people? It's like
it's a million plus households, potential households that can be watching. And we're hoping a lot of people are watching tonight. And if you are watching, I want you to let people know that they can tune in via cable, via satellite, via over the air, and also via streaming, because we are online, streaming live on WEIU.net.
And that is really amazing that we can do that. There's a lot of people that are out there tonight that, they're watching us online. I want to give a shout out to one very special storyteller that couldn't be here tonight, Philo, if you are watching, we just really hope you get better. We miss you, and we were just sad that you couldn't be a part of this tonight. So, but our heart is going out to you right now, so I hope you feel the love coming from WEIU tonight.
And your story is going to be shared via this DVD. We just heard it, and we were proud to be able to listen to your story and be able to share it. And I'm sure we're going to be talking about lots of other storytellers throughout this evening, and we want you to be able to share all of this excitement. The phones keep on ringing. We still have a few other phones available, so call the number at the bottom of your screen right now.
We have a thing called the phone blitz, and that's when every phone is being answered. So right now we need 2 more people, 3 more people to call. So if you're there right now and you want to get that phone blitz going, give us a call at the number on the bottom of your screen.
It's also possible to go online on our website, weiu.net, and donate your support to get a DVD or 2 or however many you would like to have. But you really give us excitement when you call here because we get to give a shout out to you. We know who's calling and where you're from, and we also are happy to share that information with the storytellers, and you can tell them what you appreciated about their story as well.
What's neat when you do call, you can say, you know, I want to give a shout out to my kids who live in another state. So-and-so was my teacher, or I can remember going to MacDonald's farm and talking to Bruce and Mary Beth. Those are the kind of things we want to convey to you tonight. We want you to know that we're part of your family now. Ken and I take this job very seriously. We get involved with the people in the community. We shop there. We just have a good time. So we know that you love Arthur too. So if you're one of those people, give us a call tonight.
It's so easy. $75 for 1 DVD, 2 or more are $60 each. You see it right there on your screen. And we've got people sitting back here waiting to answer the phones. We've got some more shout outs and thank yous. Thank you so much, Brenda. We've got Regina from Champaign.
Thank you.
Barry from Arthur. And Roger from Atwood. Thank you so much for supporting Arthur. This is our story.
Our goal tonight is to get over 100 people calling. So right now we've had a total of 5 people. So right now, before the end of this break, we'd like to get to 20. Who's going to be the one that's going to help us get there, okay? This is fun. This is our 7th Our Story, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
We've done 7 other communities, and Arthur is just as great as the other ones that we've done. We've gotten to know great people. And the one thing you said earlier about the people in Arthur that we found, they're very kind. You're only a stranger once, and that's true.
It is. It's for real. They are very genuine people. We're so happy to have been able to come and talk with them and meet with them and hear their stories, and just they've become our family.
Well, that's part of what we do here. You know, WEIU just isn't a public television station. WEIU is a community station as well. And that's something that we're real proud of. And we want to be a part of your community as we've been a part of Arthur. Once we get to know the people in Arthur, guess what? They're our friends forever. Gosh, we got some more people get on the phone. I bet you know somebody that's sitting at the phone bank right now that does not on the phone. So we need you to give them a call right now.
The storytellers that we have back here, you'll be hearing from later. Dwayne is over here, talks about the fire department. Christy, we want to give a big shout out to Christy. She's the tourism director, and Arthur been a big help to us. Thank you so much, Christy. We have Kent with the newspaper. Tanya, we heard her story about Progress Industries. We've got some folks that work for the city, the library, Marty, Lynn Marner, and also we heard from Terry just a moment ago. So lots of different people up here willing to take your call. All you have to do is call right now. We've got some more thank yous here. We've got Rod and Carol from Arthur. Thank you. And we also have Rita from Arthur.
So that's 7 people. We thank you so much for calling. We're going to try to get to our goal before the end of this break. So right now, if you're sitting there and you're like, you know what, I want to get back to the program.
Well, we will.
Well, we will, and so do we. We want to get back to it too.
Absolutely, but we have 13 more, lucky 13 callers that we need to call in, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 phones available. So let's get those phones ringing.
You know, I always think when we have our live nights that there are so many people out there that will learn so much tonight about your hometown. We have heard from our storytellers. We said, you know, they talked about they got emotional, they laughed, they heard some funny stories, but most of all, they learned a lot of things that they never knew before. So the 28 people that stepped up and said, I want to be a part of this great program, we thank them for doing it.
Absolutely. It takes all of us to be able to put this program together. And without the support of the community and the people calling in tonight, you're supporting them as well. So it's kind of a pyramid scheme here that we come to the community, we ask them to volunteer and tell these stories, and there's so many people that want to share the story of their community. This is the smallest community that we've produced a program on, but not short of stories.
No, not at all, not at all. And while we're doing thank yous, I want to give just a quick thank you to Jack Flash for tonight for providing some pizzas for us, and the kitchen of Doris Yoder. Thank you so much, both of you, for coming and helping supply some food tonight to help with our volunteers. We really appreciate it.
I'd also like to thank the underwriters of our program. We could not produce this program without your support. Master Brand Cabinets, Sarah Bush Lincoln Arthur Clinic, Arthur Community Bank, Roseland's Coffee and Delights, State Bank of Arthur, Tri-County Welding, Polly's Barbecue, the Village of Arthur, Yoder Center, and Arthur Downtown Merchants and Arthur Tourism. Thank you so much.
Right now we've got 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's phone ringing. We got 4 people who are not on the phone. Let's get that phone blitz going. The phone number's at the bottom of your screen. We know you've been sitting here. Here we go.
Here we go.
This is when we get excited. I'm telling you right now, we're getting excited.
We're getting excited.
We're excited. Yeah.
Ring that bell. Yeah.
Okay. Lynn's not busy. Marty's not busy. And
we need 3 callers. 3 callers right now.
Who's
Let's get that phone blitz going. You can do it. We believe in Arthur. We believe in the viewers all in Central Illinois and also all across the world, because we are sharing Arthur with the world tonight via streaming online.
And you know, something we've talked about is WEIU wants to get involved with the communities. They want to be a part. Who else is going to come into your town and say, you know what, I want to do a program just on Arthur, and guess what? You're going to pick the subjects, and you know what? And you're going to get to tell the stories. That's what makes this program so popular and so valuable to your community.
We've got great stories coming up in just a bit. Once we meet our goal of 20, you keep those phones ringing right now. But we're going to hear about the Moses Yoder Farm, and we have Irvin and Bernadine with us this evening. We're going to hear about the high school, the fire department, the newspaper, an awesome tractor cruise.
Father's Day
like
weekend.
To go on.
I want to go. It's Father's Day weekend.
And also a very emotional story following in my mother's footsteps, and I'm not going to give
don't give it away. Do not give it away. So many great stories coming up, but right now we need to hit our goal before we move on. So right now, if you enjoyed this program, don't wait till later on in the program. Do it right now. The phone number's on the bottom of your screen. The people that are here will take your information. Fast and easy. It takes literally about a minute to do it, and we'd love to thank you on air as well.
We need 2 more callers, and we'll have that phone blitz. So if you're sitting there considering, should I call, should I not, you should call, because we want to give a big shout out. Kit wants to answer the phone, and so does Marty, and they're brother and sister.
Yes,
so let's get them both on the phone at the same time.
Yes, they are.
All right, we'd like to thank Kevin from Arthur. And we would also like to thank Marilyn from Arcola. So we're up to 10. We've got 10 more to go.
Yeah, we can do it. And you know what, Arthur, you can do it. If you've enjoyed the stories we've already done tonight, and they have touched you in any way, you need a copy of this DVD for your family to keep in your family. Absolutely. How many photos did we get from Noel Dix?
Oh my gosh. Countless.
I don't even know how many. Hundreds of photos that he has gotten, and he let us use them, and we were able to use them in this program tonight. So Noel is all about capturing and saving the history of Arthur, and he's passionate about it. It's amazing how many photos that gentleman has. He's not finished yet.
No, he's a great historian, and Arthur is lucky to have that. We were lucky to be able to meet him, because you'll see a number of those photos in this DVD, and that's exactly what this DVD and this program does as well, is it archives the history, which will be able to be shared with many, many children who are growing up in that community.
Right. Now, if you're sitting there right now and you're like, this is a great program, get on the phone, first call us, and then turn around and call your friends, or email them, or get on Facebook, which is the best way to get the word out nowadays. What's the hashtag? What's the hashtag?
The hashtag is Arthur, TIOS. This is our story, is what it stands for. And that's all you have to do. Keep spreading the word. Keep sticking with us throughout the evening. We've got the phones ringing. We did not get the phone blitz, but you know what? There's still time. We're going to be here with you for a while. We've got 6 more great stories coming up in just a few minutes.
We have, like we said earlier, we have 28 storytellers. Each one was so unique. None of them are alike. We touch on the Amish. We touch on the history. We talk about what's going on nowadays there. What are some of the other ones? Just giving a brief.
Some of the different things that they do to take care of the people in their community.
Festivals?
Yes, the festivals, the veterans, the fireworks.
Fireworks are a biggie.
Yep, but you're going to have to wait for that one.
Have to wait for that one. The pumpkin house is something that I personally enjoyed. He's in the house tonight. Where's he at? He's not here.
He was on the phone earlier. I bet you he's in the control room.
I bet he's in the control room. So that's something that's exciting to look forward to, too. Right now, the phones are quiet. We need you to call right now. We only have a few more minutes before we go back to our program.
Yep.
Think about people that you would love to give this to as a gift. Maybe it's your dad who lives in Arthur and you do not know what to get him to for Father's Day, or your grandpa, for instance. This is a time to give us a call.
This town is all about family, so think about your family. Call your family, tell them to tune in. If they can't tune in for some reason, they have something else going on this evening, get the DVD, be able to share it with them. I'm going to give a couple more shout outs and then we'll get you back to the program. We want to thank Jerry from Arthur, Tim from Arthur, Melanie from Urbana, Ruth Ann from Arthur, Ezra and Lisa from Arthur. Oh, here, can you hold this a second?
Yes, I
can. Sorry. Tom says hi to Jana and is from Charleston, and Linda from Arthur. So we were up to how many?
We're up to
16.
16. Come on, we're almost to
17, 18.
We've got two more.
We need two more.
Two more. Come on,
two
right
more.
Now.
Two more. Awesome. We made our goal that time around. All right, stick with us. We'll be getting you back to the show. Keep those phones ringing. We're here all evening.